The Florida Gators are starting DJ Lagway this weekend. Here's how the offense can work with him at the helm.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free for visiting the podcast and on YouTube. Happy Thursday. I'm Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and a YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Just saying, NFL is here. It's here. It's back. So I'm just saying, just take advantage now while you can. And the Florida Gators released their depth chart last night. Quite a few notable things about it. No Khalil Jackson, no Sharif Denson, no Joey Slackman there, which was all very interesting. No Devin Moore available. Some we knew, some we didn't know. One thing that was, and obviously right tackle and right guard, there is a very notable inclusion that I hate. Just want to throw that one out there that I absolutely hate. But, you know, it's not my job on the line, depending on if you win football games or not. So who am I to complain? One notable thing, though, Graham Mertz was not listed on the depth chart, which not unsurprising, right? I mean, most of us kind of figured, hey, Graham Mertz got concussed against Miami. Fair to assume he's not going to be out there, right? Of course, we'll see when he's back. We've been told that, hey, he's progressing, he's moving along. But for the time being, there is no Graham Mertz for the Florida Gators. He is concussed. So DJ Lagway was at the top of the depth chart for Florida. Take you back to the Miami game. Graham Mertz was concussed after getting sacked. I think it was sacked by Tyler Barron, who, congratulations, took you 5 years, but you finally got some production against the Florida Gators. Proud of you. I'm still going to talk my trash. I don't care. I understand how silly it looks considering the score. I have to talk trash. It's in my veins. But Graham Mertz was concussed, left the game, and DJ Lagway entered the game. I've said this since it happened, right? I chalk that performance for DJ Lagway. I know he looked good in that. I'm not saying that he looked good, but I am chalking it because it wasn't Miami's starting defense playing their normal defensive scheme. They were playing more soft coverage. They weren't blitzing as much. They weren't going as nuts with it. And so that's why I kind of chalk it, because it wasn't Miami going their full defense. Okay. So I kind of chalk that a little bit, even though, again, he looked good. It's just, I don't think he necessarily looked good against a power 4 defense trying their hardest in a close competitive game, because it wasn't at the time that he came in. It was pretty evident that Miami was going to win that game by that point. And so they were playing a little softer, a little off. DJ Lagway, there were just some things that you see, though, where it's not necessarily chalk. Like, I don't chalk how he read the coverage. I don't chalk stuff like that. But, like, you can look at how tight the spiral is, how fast the ball comes out, just those kind of quarterbacking, not necessarily reading the coverages, making an assessment, making a pre-snap read, making a post-snap read, and executing. But you look at the slants, because he threw 2 slants to each side, lasers, like stuff like that. We can look at, we go, okay, pretty good. We'll see what it looks like with tighter window throws. But DJ Lagway overall looked solid. It's just a thing that I'm going to chalk for. I'm not going to make my assessment or evaluation of him based on that. I will say that this game against Samford, very important for his development. Look, the way it comes down to it is, I think it's tough for Florida to sit DJ Lagway again, just because I think once you open Pandora's box and you start a kid, it's tough to put him back on the bench. Even if you go into it and you go, hey, Graham Mertz is our starter, DJ Lagway is our backup. It's still, hey, DJ Lagway Graham Mertz played horrendously before getting injured against Miami. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that. And if you do dispute it, respect your opinion less. Graham Mertz played horrendously against Miami. DJ Lagway came in, looked decent. The fan base doesn't care. Like, as a fan, I don't care that it was against Miami playing softer coverage. I saw my 5-star quarterback. I saw the top-ranked quarterback in the 2024 class come out, get some completions, move the ball downfield. The team scored a touchdown on one of the drives. I watched that, and the fan in me says, start him. However, the more professional side of me, I'm not going to say super professional. I know what I am, okay? I accept it, and I love it. But the more professional side of me says, well, this is a good start because it gives DJ Lagway live reps against a team actually trying their hardest. So it gives DJ Lagway live reps there. However, I do get a little bit of the shakies, I guess, from watching DJ Lagway go out there and say, okay, well, I wouldn't hate it if he went back to the bench. As a fan, I want him to start the rest of the year because he's our 5-star QB. We're finally going to see this shiny new toy. As an evaluator or as a semi-professional, whatever you want to classify me as, if that's full professional or not, I don't care. I acknowledge that you do run the risk of putting DJ Lagway out there behind a bad offensive line, getting him hit, getting him hurt, getting him Sam Darnold with the Jets is like, I'm seeing ghosts out there. You run the risk of stunting his development. I've talked about this multiple times. You're playing against a gauntlet, and your offensive line is not good. You can get someone hit and hurt like that. David Carr was the first draft pick in Houston Texans history, and he's a massive bust, largely in part because of how bad their offensive line was, and it just kept getting him hit, and he never recovered from stuff like that. So that's why my one warning. It's not necessarily that I want him to go back to the bench. It's that there's that risk of, while we say he's a 5-star quarterback, he's the top-ranked quarterback in the country because he was 5-star plus quarterback, or according to On 3's tweet, 5-star plus quarterback, which I don't know what that means or if that was just a screw-up there. But I acknowledge that there's that risk that you throw him into the fire too soon and it doesn't work out. Throwing him in there against Miami, you had to do that because of injury. Starting him against Samford, you have to do that because of injury. But when Graham Mertz clears concussion protocol, I'm interested to see what the approach is. And I'm torn on it. Again, as a fan, I want to see him out there playing every single snap. But as an evaluator, as a professional, I'm a little nervous for the they might break him thing. And I don't mean coaching will break him. I mean the offensive line that did not play well might break him a little bit. And obviously I don't want that for the long-term success of the program. I don't want that. But again, he's the shiny new toy. He looked pretty good. We'll see what we see against Samford. And I do want to remind everybody, this is not a video game. There are downsides to playing guys too early. We've seen that happen before. So I want to remind everybody, it's not just a video game where you put a guy in and he's getting better no matter what. There's only progression. Okay? Some guys can get stunted by it. At least their development can get stunted by it. Not saying that I think that would happen to DJ Lagway, but it's a risk that fans should be aware of as we head into this game and the remainder of the season, depending on how long DJ Lagway will be starting for Graham Mertz, whether that's just Samford or the entirety of the year. We'll talk about what the offense will look like with DJ Lagway and his legs next on Locked On Gators. You've heard us talk about FanDuel a lot. there's a good reason for that. One, they're dope. Two, it's America's #1 sports book. We have something a little different for you right now. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. I will also say this. Every week I do a parlay that is every Florida Gator playing that day to score a touchdown. Or if there's a team with 2, then I'll pick 1. But just saying, try it every week. It'll hit, right? Has to at some point. The home runs one has hit of Wyatt Langford, Harrison Bader, Pete Alonso. They were the only 3 playing that day, and they all banged that day, and it was a beautiful thing to see. But with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment. You can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. And I don't know if you can see this. If you're on YouTube, you can see it at least a little bit. If you're listening on audio, obviously you can't see it, but there's a really cool thing right behind me. Okay. Team Ticker is a one-of-a-kind sports sign for college sports fans. Okay. It's a 1.5 by a 2-foot wall sign. I've got mine right behind me. Has the Gator logo, as you can see. Cool retro-looking LED display, right? And it's updated daily with fresh content, countdown to the next game, schedule, standing stats, news. It's right now showing the remainder of the schedule, and it's got football, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, soccer, softball. It's got everything. Obviously, there is no men's soccer team for the Florida Gators, but Team Ticker has it for everybody that applies, and it's not just Florida available. There's a bunch of schools. You can use the content control, so you can use the remote control. You can use the content control to pick the sports. Remote control, you can play the fight song from it. I'm not going to do it because it's loud and it's going to be long, and it's going to be longer than that, but I love it. Team Ticker is the ultimate addition to your Florida Gators sports collection. Once you hang it on your wall, put it on anything behind you, same. You're going to be the talk of the town with Florida Gators fans. And if you're looking for that one eye-catching item that really sets you apart for a Florida Gators fan or will set a Florida Gators fan apart, go to teamticker.com and pick up your Team Ticker today. It's a one-of-a-kind sports sign. Use promo code LOCKEDON to receive $50 off your Team Ticker purchase. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free right in the podcast and on YouTube. And I think one of the biggest things that we'll see change for the Florida Gators with DJ Lagway at the helm is that RPO option game. We've seen Graham Mertz run the RPO, okay? I need to get this out of the way because I know a lot of people say Graham Mertz can't run the RPO. Yes, he can. The RPO does not mean that it's either handed off, Graham keeps it and runs, or Graham throws. Like, you don't need a mobile quarterback to run the RPO. I want to make that abundantly clear. Mac Jones spammed the RPO at Alabama. And Mac Jones is not a very athletic quarterback, right? So Graham Mertz can run the RPO. Billy Napier chooses to not do it as frequently, but it's still something that you can very, very, very much do. Again, you can hand it off or throw the ball. That's your RPO. It doesn't need to be hand the ball, keep it, and run yourself or throw it, which Graham Mertz usually has that tagged to it where he could do that because why wouldn't he? But again, Billy Napier just chooses to not run the RPO like that. But you go back to 2022 Florida when Anthony Richardson was the quarterback, and you go watch that. You watch the Utah game and how much they just ran the RPO and the option. You look at that for so much of the season, and they run the RPO a lot with Anthony Richardson for good reason. It really works when you have a mobile quarterback. Again, you don't need a mobile quarterback, but it really works when you have a mobile quarterback at the helm. And it benefits with your quarterback. It benefits them as far as throwing the ball with your offensive line being as poor as it is, specifically the right side of the offensive line, who Cam Waits is listed as an or for a starter. And Damian George is listed as the starter, despite everything telling you that those two should not be there. But it's still a quick game, right? Throw the quick slant, throw quickly to the flat, throw a quick screen, whatever it may be. You've got that quick passing game going. You've got the option game. And for those of you who don't know how the option usually works, the zone read option, whatever you want to call it. the most common variation of the option is quarterback reads the backside defender. And if the backside defender runs in and crashes at the running back, then the quarterback keeps it and runs himself. Okay. I'm willing to put money on seeing split zone read in this game. And if you know me, you know I love some split zone read. I haven't been able to talk about it since 2022, but I love split zone read. Split zone read is essentially DJ Lagway in the backfield, Montreal Johnson to his right, Hayden Henson, tight end on the left side of the field, right? DJ Lagway takes a snap, reads the backside defensive end, or edge defender, I guess, reads the backside edge defender. So the side the running back's on, because the running back's going to run away. So reads that backside defender. And if he keeps it, Hayden Henson is pulling behind the offensive line. And he can light up that edge defender, or he can run past the edge defender and go to the second level. We saw Anthony Richardson score a very long touchdown on split zone read against Texas A&M. And if you watch the play, you see Anthony Richardson keeps the ball, and Jonathan Odom runs past the edge defender. And Jonathan Odom goes to the second level, and Anthony Richardson follows, and they're just gone. And we spoke about that. With Florida Victorious, we did a Twitter space one time, and Jonathan Odom was there. And we spoke with Jonathan Odom, and he was like, yeah, I was supposed to hit the edge defender there. Sometimes we have it where I'm supposed to hit the edge defender. Sometimes we have it I'm supposed to climb to the next level. That time I was supposed to hit the edge defender, and I just knew Anthony Richardson was gone. He just came in too much. AR took it, and I was like, he's not touching AR. I don't need to block him. And so that's a fun little story about split zone read. Again, probably my favorite concept. Pin pulls up there, GY counters up there. Just saying. But the run game will also improve in general, even when Florida's not running the RPO, not running the option. Okay? Because when DJ Lagway is handing that ball off, defenses are still going to go, oh, wait, is this RPO? So that backside defender takes himself out of the play just by respecting DJ Lagway's legs. That's not an opinion, by the way. You look at 2022 Florida and the amount of times that Anthony Richardson just handed the ball off and it wasn't an RPO, but the backside defender freezes to make sure Anthony Richardson doesn't take off. Happens a lot. Just go any game in 2022 that Anthony Richardson started and played. You watch it and you see Anthony Richardson, even if he's not reading the backside defender, just handing the ball off, and the backside defender frequently is stopping just in case AR hands it off. It makes your offensive line look better. Now there's one less guy to make a play on the running back. Now they don't have to worry about him as often. You can do that. Same. If you're running that far zone, you can often ignore him with that quarterback just being a threat there. And it helps, obviously, right? Really helps your rushing game, really helps your RPO game, really helps your quick game as well. One area where I expect Florida to take the next step with DJ Lagway as a starting quarterback, for just the pure passing game, but that vertical passing game, really threatening. We're going to talk about that next on Locked On Gators. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals that you can't find anywhere else. Like the only job board, job site, job social media site that I'm on is LinkedIn. You can add me if you want. I don't know why, but you can add me if you want. In any given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites, and 100% of months I don't. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're not looking in the right place, right? On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free reviews on the podcast and on YouTube. And like I said, I think the offense will improve around DJ Lagway. That's just any dual threat quarterback will give you these benefits, right? That doesn't mean that every dual threat quarterback is better than every pocket passer. Okay. They just schematically, they open up more for you. And they kind of inherently elevate the talent around them. But of course, if you have a quarterback that can't really throw accurately, they're not going to respect the passing game. We saw that in 2022 as well. Anthony Richardson really there were some days where you can watch the first drive and you can go, okay, this is a bad day for AR. It's going to rain on Saturday at the game, by the way. You can see it behind me on the team ticker. It does update you on the weather. So, yeah. But if you don't have that passer, that quarterback that can accurately throw the ball, then sure, your running threat helps, but then teams are going to really make you prove that you can pass and try to force you to pass, and they'll pick you apart there. But with the play action passing game, Florida should immediately be more effective, right? Because just if you run some RPOs and DJ Lagway takes them, or if you run some options and DJ Lagway takes the ball, then defenses, every time you run any kind of play action, they're going to see that little handoff, that little Montrell Johnson stepping up, DJ Lagway putting the ball kind of in his gut. Defenses are going to go, oh, wait, is this a run? And some guys are going to come up close to the line of scrimmage. Some guys are going to step in and get ready to make a play on the run. And then you pull that ball back and you've got options, right? Do you know how effective that is? Because when you get your run game going with the RPO and then you have play action, which, by the way, I know that this was a thing that I said that upset quite a few fans, specifically Miami fans. You don't need an effective running game to have the play action available. Again, factually, the play action passing game is better than drop back passing game with or without an effective rushing game. Again, it's just that threat, right? Just that threat of running just causes people to hesitate a little bit. If you don't have a good running game, it's usually because they're flying down to make a stop, right? That's why it's like your running game cannot be effective. But if you're running play action and they're expecting you to still run the ball, teams bite. Teams make mistakes. Play action passing game there, more effective, more explosive. It's especially effective and especially explosive when you have a quarterback who could take off running at any point. It's especially effective and especially explosive. Like it's more effective when your running game is working, of course. But it's play action passing game is more effective than just drop back passing with or without a successful running game. When Florida has DJ Lagway in the backfield and he just puts that ball in the running back's gut, there's going to be defenders that are coming in to make a stop because they think DJ Lagway is taking the ball. They think he's handing the ball off. They're going to think it's a run at some point. They're going to fly in. And that's the thing. A lot of the time, it's about that discipline, right? The eye discipline to recognize, hey, I've still got my coverage assignment, even if he's handing the ball off. Like I can't, or even if I think he might hand the ball off, I can't just abandon my assignment. Some guys will. This is college football, right? The NFL does it all the time. College players do it a lot. That vertical passing game is going to be there. Okay. First off, in this game specifically, Florida's got more athletic players across the board than Samford. Secondly, when you have an effective running game, when you're just that threat, you're going to have deep passing game there. Okay, so DJ Lagway should have the deep passing game. When your offensive line's bad and you have a mobile quarterback, you can scramble around. Again, Anthony Richardson was still pressured a lot in 2022. He just didn't get sacked frequently because he could extend plays with his legs. That's it. He was still pressured a good amount. He just wasn't sacked much. DJ Lagway can do that. Again, that's one of the things too, where when live bullets are flying, as Billy Napier said, you got to figure out how things are going, right? Because when live bullets start flying, like you could be athletic and you could be a dual threat quarterback. But if you're not good at extending plays with your legs, that's going to be an issue. But with a lot of these quarterbacks, they should be falling back on their athleticism. We've seen it with Anthony Richardson. We've seen it with basically every dual threat quarterback at some point in time has had the whole make your first read or first two reads. If it's not there, run. They should be falling back on their athleticism. And for DJ Lagway, he should do that. But again, DJ Lagway's got a big arm, bazooka attached to his torso. He can let that thing sing in, especially when you've got the athletic mismatch. That should be something you're looking for. If I'm Florida, I'm coming out first play of the game and I'm throwing a bomb downfield. And even if it's incomplete, they're going to remember that. And they're going to go, okay, maybe we should play a little bit off. And it'll open your run game. It'll open the screen game. It opens a lot. So DJ Lagway is also someone that we've seen. He did it in high school, which is obviously different than college, obviously different than SEC play, which could happen in week 3. But we saw DJ Lagway in high school when plays broke down. He extended plays with his legs, right? It's about having the confidence to do that in college, which he should have. But we saw him do that in high school. That Willis offensive line was stinky. That offensive line was bad at Willis. And DJ Lagway was left constantly scrambling to extend plays, still looking for the deep shot. Because he can do that. He has that natural arm where he can do that on the run. He can do that when he's off platform. He has that natural arm. No one's going to deny that. So I'm curious to see what the passing attack looks like with him. Because again, deep shot will be there. You're more athletic. And honestly, Florida should go, let's try it. Let's just see what he's going to look like in live game situations. You look at the spring game, they were throwing downfield immediately. First 2 plays, they went downfield, if I'm not mistaken. They did it a lot. I would expect them to do it a lot against Samford. See if you can work it into your offense, see how it looks, and break it out that way. DJ Lagway, first career start. Hopefully going to be a big one. Should be a big win. Hopefully explosive offense in this one. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free wherever it's in the podcast and on YouTube. We'll be back tomorrow. Talk more Florida Gators. Talk more DJ Lagway. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with Giants Country. And I'll see you all next time.